Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and today I wanted to show you how you can make a simple belly band pocket. It's a belly band with a secret hidden pocket. I had seen this on Pinterest. I'll try and put the link down below if I can find it, but it is a way to use up your old, like the envelopes that you get in the mail, like for bills and stuff. So I have this one here that has a window in it. But we're going to make a belly band using this. And then I have some items here from the Sprouts of Joy collection from Chic. I have this paper that came in the collection. And then the fibers. I have this little Chic. And then this punch out medallion, and then also I added in some speckled paper that I had in my stash, as well as this trim. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how to do this. It's pretty easy. You're also going to need scissors, glue, and a paper trimmer. And if you would like to ink everything, your ink and your distressing tool. So the first thing that you need to do is take your envelope and you're going to fold it. Well, actually, I'll just trim it here since the window goes probably right to the middle of this. We'll want a little bit of an edge here so the window will stay intact. And we're going to trim this. Of course, it'll depend on how big your envelope is, but on this one, I'm just going to put the corner of my envelope up to 1.5 inches, because that leaves a little bit here past the window in the envelope. Okay, so we have this, and this is the part I'm going to use as the belly band. You could use both of these parts, but this is just a little bit narrower, so I think I could use this, but for now I'm just going to hold on for another project. So now what I'm going to do is put some glue on the very edge of the flap, because we want to close this up. You just don't want to get any in here to where it will close the whole, you know, you want it to make a pocket. So just make sure that you can open it up like that. All right, so now I'm going to use this paper here. It's some stationery paper. It has like little flecks in it. It's not really handmade paper, but I think it was just printed that way. I'm going to use this on the back of my envelope and cover all this up. Still leaving the pocket, of course, but that will be the back of my envelope. Just in case I want to use it as just a little tuck piece, like a bookmark or something. But you don't have to cover this if you're actually using it as a belly band. You could stitch at the top and the bottom on your page, and then you wouldn't even see that. But for my purpose now, I'm just going to show you that I'm going to glue it down onto the paper. I want the edges to adhere really well, so I'm just going to smooth out along the edge. Just make sure there's glue the whole way. And then stick it down on top of the paper. Bring in your paper trimmer and just go ahead and trim that off. Just make sure you don't trim off your edge that's making the pocket. You could just use scissors for this. I'm just going to make sure I don't. There. All right. Didn't quite get it straight. Well, I guess it is straight. It's just not all the way to the edge of the envelope. So I'm going to trim just a little bit off here. Okay. Now what we want to do is you can totally cover make sure that's not, it still has a pocket. You can totally cover this and not have a little window, but I just think that would be cool to have something stuck in there and see kind of a sneak peek of what's inside that belly band. So what I'm going to do is I want to use this paper here to cover my front. And I want to pick, I think down here, because I like the yellow down there. But let's see which. Just gonna go around until I find a section that I like here. Deciding how I want to lay this out. First I'm going to cut because I want the envelope, the window I think what I'm going to do is trim this down, cover the top part, and then, because I'm trying to see how I am going to leave that window, I could just mark it and then cut it. So I grabbed a pencil. I'm going to line this up this way and mark it there. I'm just going to the edge of the window here. And then I'm going to put it up here and mark where I need to cut here. So now I have 4 marks, and I'm going to use my paper trimmer and cut those areas out. Just line up my paper trimmer with the lines. think I need to change my blade because it's kind of making a little ragged edges on my paper. And this is pretty thin paper, so I'm going to have to fix up the edges with my scissors. Alright, didn't quite get it completely cut here. See how jagged that is? Wow. I really need to change the blade. Okay, I think that's okay. So now I'm going to take and trim that a little bit. All right. Now I'm going to put some glue down on my envelope, and we're just going to cover it with the paper, lining up the window that we cut out. As I said, if you didn't want to keep the window, you could just cover the whole thing. I'm going to do the same and smooth it out along the edges so that all the edges of the paper will stay down nice and won't come up. Just have to make it, it's a little bit harder with the window, so you have to kind of line it up as best you can. There we go. And smooth it out. I think it went a little bit over, but that's fine. So now I'm just going to use my scissors here. Trim this off. All right. Make sure your little pocket still opens up. And then I'm going to take my ink and ink up my edges. Just trying to put my glue away here so that it doesn't dry up. Okay. Ink up my edges here. This is just the Tim Holtz Distress Tea Dye stain, or you can use Vintage Photo, or you could use a color, or just whatever ink you have. You don't have, it doesn't have to be Distress ink. Before they came out with Distress ink, when I was scrapbooking, we used to do the edges like this, and we just called it inking the edges. We used regular ink. They didn't have Distress ink. I guess the regular ink was the Distress ink. But of course I know what the benefit of the Distress ink does with, you know, it interacts with the water and everything. Alright, so I have this, and now it's ready to decorate, and then we can make the little pocket or the little tag that goes inside. So I'm just going to take this paper and the speckled paper and make a little tag, and it needs to be a little bit shorter and a little bit narrower so it will fit inside here. So I'm just going to use my pencil and mark. I'll turn it over here and just mark where it needs to be cut, and then mark it this way too. So again, it's going to depend on how wide of an envelope you have. And I'm going to go ahead and put both pieces together and cut both, because I want, this paper is really thin. So with the combination of the two together will make a nice little tag. And then I'll just glue them together. All right, glue these. Also, using the tacky glue will add a little bit of sturdiness to this tag as well when it dries. I always, with the thinner paper, I always like to smooth it out so it doesn't show any bumps through, you know, to see through the paper on the top. Alright, I think let's put that down there. Now, with this little label shape, or whatever you call it, I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to use this as a tab on the end, on the edge of my little card here, or my tag. If you have a little, they have dies that make the little, what do you call them, file tabs, I guess. I actually have a metal thinlet that goes through the Sizzix machine that does this, but for now I just wanted to use what was in this kit, so I'm going to use it. Actually, let me ink it up as well before I stick it on the side of my tag. And oh, I should go ahead and ink my tag while I'm at it. I could stand to make this a little bit thicker, but I think it'll be fine because it is still a bit floppy. It probably needed a piece of cardstock behind it instead of that other stationery paper, but I think it'll be fine. All right, now just going to put a little bit of glue just on the edge because you want the tab to stick out a little bit, both sides here, and then just put it on the edge like that. That'll slide right in here. Just like that. Now, if you wanted to, I maybe should have made it go this way so that, let's see. Well, I should have taken advantage of the window, because this doesn't really show much through here, but I could stick something else down at the bottom, but see how this is Can't really see much there. So I might come up with something to put there. Oh, you know what? There's a butterfly in the kit. There's a butterfly punch. And I'll stick that right in that spot so that you can see the butterfly. Here it is. Use a little bit of ink here. I'm going to stick it in. That actually, I like that. It just adds a little bit more interest to the tag. And let's see. Oh, that'll be cute. It's kind of showing through there. Stick that down. Okay, now we're going to decorate our belly band part up here. So I have this. I don't know if I like that now that I look at that. I'm not going to use that. But I do have this, and I don't know if I want to use this trim or this thinner piece, but let's look here. It's kind of thick. I think I'm going to use the thinner. Let's see here. Missing this nicely wrapped cardboard here. This is kind of in a knot at the end here. Yeah, I think that'll be good. All right. I'm going to put some tacky glue down. Just write down the line right down so I can glue my trim on. This is a upholstery trim, I think, so it's a little bit thicker than normal, just sewing trim. So you kind of have to hold it down, but the tacky glue is working pretty good. I like how this is. I have this heart, so I'm wondering. What this will look like. And maybe I want my I think I'll put the heart right there. The top. I'll let that dry just a little bit before I trim it off, because I may have to put a little bit of glue on the end of that trim so it doesn't unravel. All right, I'm gonna trim this off here. Down at the bottom. And I'm going to put some glue up at the top and the bottom just to make sure it doesn't unravel. It'll dry clear. Usually you could use like they have like fray check, or you could use a lighter to kind of burn the edges, but then you get that little bit of a black. You don't want that. You don't want to burn your house down, so it's a good thing. All right. I think this turned out really cute. You could put, if you had like little little words or whatever, you could label that, or just add whatever you want, but I think that looks really cute. Anyway, there it is, guys. A little belly band, and let's see, I'll show you what it looks like on the inside of the book. I'm not going to glue it down quite yet, but I think this would look really cute like that. Like right in the front there, because this paper is the same as this, so that looks really cool. But I think I'll stitch it at the top and the bottom, or maybe, no, you know what, I don't want to risk the pocket not being big enough, so I would glue it at that point. If you wanted to stitch at the top and the bottom, you would need to make your tag a little bit shorter and maybe make the tag after you sewed it in. So yeah. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and subscribe. Again, this is from Cheaply Chic, Miss Lynette over Cheaply Chic, and she has an Etsy shop as well. I'll have her links down below if you want to check out this kit. Hopefully she still has some available. I haven't checked. So yeah, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.